Welcome to this episode of the Catalyst Podcast, how to make your fee-for-service model functional friendly. Let's start with a story. Last week, I had a brainstorming session. These are Zoom sessions online for 20 minutes where I get to meet amazing practitioners across the world transforming healthcare. I love it. I think I get more out of it than the practitioners because even though it's designed to be a pick your brain session where we can help them with next steps, I leave feeling so inspired that these amazing, enlightened practitioners are literally catalyzing new change in their communities. So, as we're talking, I learned about this practitioner. They had been in practice for 2 years in their community, quite successfully, actually. Patients really loved their services. They were seeing great changes. And they started to notice that despite all of this, there was a downturn. Their revenue started to shrink. They started to find patients getting lost or ghosting, not following up. And so when I dug deeper into those questions, it is a common scenario that I see. We have an initial tidal wave of enthusiasm when we open our practice because anybody that is into health and wellness is curious and they'll book appointments with you. But after that initial tidal wave of interest, we often have this shrinking of our revenue and not as much patients making appointments. And that's an opportunity to look at your systems and see where we can have some improvement that will lead to more revenue and patient flow. In this particular instance, this practitioner reflected that patients weren't following up. They were ghosting. They had difficulty booking other appointments because they operated on a fee-for-service system. That's a typical model in medicine. It's what you see in your primary care office or internal medicine, fee-for-service. You see your practitioner, you pay for that visit. The problem is it's hard to work in functional medicine under a fee-for-service model. So right then the practitioner paused and then looked at me on Zoom and said, I know what you're going to say. You're going to tell me I need to take everything and move it into a membership. And I laughed because I said, no, actually, I'm not dogmatic. I think every model can work out, but I simply have my favorites. Then they chuckled and said it was quite different than the mentoring relationship they had. Apparently, they had left a mentoring relationship that sounded unfortunate. This mentor was giving them great ideas, but then was arguing with them when they didn't follow through and didn't actually apply those specific ideas. And see, that's where I differ. A good mentor, in my mind, asks questions and helps you find the path for you, which is why inside my Catalyst studio, I have practitioners that are direct primary care, that have maybe one level of membership, 2 or 3, that do fee for service, that have packages. It's a box of Legos that we share. And I help you build the castle that you want to live in, not what I want. There's no room for dogma here. So after that session, this practitioner was so excited and inspired, and I'm going to share some of the tips that I talked about here. So if you are running a fee-for-service model and you're noticing some inconsistencies, let's just say, you're offering functional and integrative medicine, but it's difficult for your patients to book those follow-up appointments, let's do some reconnaissance work today. And here are tips to make your fee-for-service more functional friendly. Number 1, you have to be proactive in scheduling. There's no two ways about it. When we're in a membership model, and everybody knows that I do love membership, and I have had workshops about membership. I teach about how to build your own membership stack because it's great. It not only gives you consistent income, it makes it so easy for patients to feel supported because every month they have opportunity to get supported either with you or your staff or all the other ways you can stack value into that. But setting that aside, you can still have a fee-for-service model. You just have to be more proactive in scheduling. So at the end of your patient visit, when they're almost ready to leave, that's when you say, hey, I really want to see you again in 2 months. Let's book that appointment now before you leave. This gives them the feeling you do care, obviously. You don't want them to ghost. You want them to come back and see how that change has been implemented. And the more you can be proactive with that, and it could be your staff, it could be anybody, but we have to be more aggressive with getting those follow-up appointments or else they won't happen. Number 2, frame your expectations with a continuity plan. This helps the patient see that this isn't just a one visit and done. And that's typically what we see in regular medicine. They go to the doctor, they get a list of steps to follow, a prescription to take, some tips on what they can do, and it's up to them to implement that. There's really no other scaffolding. There's no support. And so what we are different in doing this, we explain that this is a continuity plan which involves several visits. Functional medicine is slow cook, not fast food. It's much like you would envision seeing a physical therapist. They're not going to teach you your exercises once and then say bye-bye. They usually want you to come back, reassess the pain, the mobility, check your form, see if those exercises still apply, and maybe give you new ones. It's the same exact thing. So when you frame those expectations right from the beginning with the patient, and that can be even before you have them walk in your room, into your exam room, you can even have it on your website, have it in your email nurture sequence. Start using language like longitudinal, long-term, relationship, right? Slow cook, not fast food. All these terms denote this support that you're here. And in your best experience, it takes several visits, months, or years to unravel some of the chronic conditions that we see. Number 3, offer a bundled package. This one's easy. If you have fee for service, then you notice, hey, I just realized you have immense issues with your HPA axis system, probably from mycotoxin. That urine test is suspicious, and this usually means months of work. To save you money, we offer a package. Buy 3, get the 4th visit free, right? You can do things like this, and it can help show them that you are here to support them. You can remain in your fee for service, and it also gives them a discount. Number 4, incorporate accountability check-ins. I did this before I transitioned to membership. I had a fee for service and a package model for about 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years. And I noticed quickly, patients are human, just like me. And unfortunately, we all don't prioritize our health every moment of the day, and life happens. So I would notice a month would go by or 2, and my patients didn't follow up, or they didn't submit the test kit that I had wanted, or they simply just were busy with life. So I started instituting phone check-ins, and I called them simply that, a phone check-in. That I would schedule that, and it'd be a 10-minute phone call. I'd ask them, what's a great time that I can call you during the day? And I would invite them to make that as an appointment on their calendar, not as a voicemail message. Although if I did end up in their voicemail, that was okay. They knew that they were thought of, they were supported, and that I was there. This really helped a long way, because a lot of times they would be prompted to make that follow-up appointment. They realized, oh my gosh, it's already been 2 weeks. Geez, I had so many questions. Maybe I should go to her group visit, which we'll get to in a moment. But that's so important to show that touch point. And it doesn't have to be you. It could be your staff doing a phone check-in just to check, did they get their supplements? Did they have any questions? Did they submit their lab test? All those little nitty-gritty things that we have to take care of in functional medicine. All right. Number 5. Use digital tools as much as you can. Start curating a private video archive of online classes, right? They can do some of that heavy lifting for you in between office visits so patients feel supported. Then they feel less embarrassed that they don't know anything. And it's really sad that as humans, we all share this common thing where we feel ashamed if we don't know the answer. I feel that way when I'm talking to anybody who is just a wizard with history or math or financial industry information, politics. There's no way I can pull all of that trivia out of my brain. And so there's this little element of shame that I should know. Patients feel the same when they're in your office. They feel like they should know, right? They should know the answer and why you're doing things. So help them feel comfortable by dripping content. Some electronic medical records like Practice Better allow you to drip content depending on how long they've been with you. So you can do that and educate them on common topics and questions that people have in your services. And it helps provide that safety and trust. Also, you can look at any of the plethora of app subscriptions out there for coaches or other ways to keep that relationship engaged and motivated. and fitness wearables, of course. They're amazing. They can help drill down to that data and keep people motivated. You can give some indices on what to look for with their HRV or contact me if you notice this. And it really helps, especially if you're in the hormone world, you're working with fertility, ovulation, etc. Number 6, establish a follow-up system. Just make a system, right? It could be automated. You could have automated emails or calls or texts that go out just to remind patients. It's been 2 months since we've seen you. How are you doing? Drop us a line, right? You can have staff get set reminders. Anytime a patient onboards into your services, you automatically set up triggers to remind your staff at certain intervals to reach out and connect, encouraging with positive reinforcement and letting them know that you are here. Again, trying to combat that shame that they should be further along than they are now, or they should know everything. Please, there's no room for shame in a healing process. We all have our own pace and timeline, and your only job is to make them feel welcomed. Did you know that burnout is the same brainwave pattern as grief under a functional MRI? This means that 63% of us in healthcare are showing up to work every day immersed in burnout and grief. No wonder we have brain fog and emotional exhaustion and depersonalization. We're on autopilot, just going through the motions. But the good news is there is an antidote. The opposite brainwave pattern is flow, the only time where your brain produces all 5 neurochemicals of happiness. And better yet, you can teach yourself to prime your brain for more flow in your work-life masterpiece. In my course, Catalyst Reclamation, I teach you my 3-step AHA method so you can practice finding more moments of flow. And when you do, you increase your happiness, your well-being, you lower your cortisol, and you flourish as the catalyst that you are transforming healthcare. So come color outside the lines with me and go to drlaurasalyer.com/shop and check out the 10-hour AMA-approved CME course, Catalyst Reclamation, so that you can step into your highest creative power. Next, yes, group visits. I love group visits. Why? Because they're so multifunctional. You can have diagnosis-specific group visits. You can have multi-purpose group visits. You can have open office hours like I do. But what I love is it provides that touch point for those patients in between appointments. And yes, you can do it in a fee-for-service model. Even though I have it in my membership, plenty practitioners will have a weekly hour where they're available and people can pop in, have questions, get a quick tweak in their supplement. Like, it's wonderful. I can't tell you how much my patients love this opportunity to dip in, get a quick question, without waiting 3 weeks for a reply in the portal in the traditional system, right? And these are great for those quickie nutrition, stress management, supplement questions. And you just simply have to put boundaries around what is and is not, acceptable in these open office hours. And patients get it, right? They're not going to do a deep dive in their most, chronic issues. That requires an appointment. But wow, do they feel supported and validated when you offer this as a wonderful tool, an ecosystem in that fee-for-service model. And finally, think about creating a loyalty program. I mean, we're all kindergartners at heart. How fun would it be to offer a point system where if they have their visits, they gain a certain amount of points, right? And maybe they accumulate points for engaging in health promoting activities. You can go wild. You could have them send in their photos as they're on a walk, or maybe a photo of their refrigerator and they do a pantry makeover. There's all sorts of fun gamified ways, and your staff can continue to collect those points and they can be redeemed for maybe supplement discounts or extra services, affiliate discounts, things like that that are outside the scope of an exam. Bottom line, you deserve to have the practice of your dreams, whether it is fee-for-service, membership, packages, whatever works for you. And let's steal Lego Company's mission, which is to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. That is you, my friend. You are a catalyst and you are transforming healthcare. And I would love to help. I have my calendar open for more brainstorming sessions as well as affordable one-on-one sessions just to pick my brain and get your own blueprint of action steps at the end of that hour. And I would love to work with you. Let's keep coloring outside the lines and practice that 6 vital sign. Until next time, have a wonderful day.